Namaste, angels. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. I do appreciate it. If you're not yet a subscriber, please do hit the subscribe button if you are interested in receiving the future videos that I post. The subscribe button and the bell button will give you a better chance of receiving those videos or seeing me in your YouTube feed, because the chances of otherwise seeing me there are slim to none. I have tremendous problems with YouTube, with my videos not showing up in the feed, with my viewers, my subscribers not being notified that I've posted a new video. And it results in, people saying, oh my goodness, I had no idea. I didn't get to see this one. I never got a notification. And so I try to send all kind of messages like manually myself on my social media. I posted, try to post that I've posted a video, but that can be difficult. And, I end up with like tremendous disparities in my views, like 10,000 views on one video and 100 on another, even like in the zodiac reading. So let's say like the sign of Leo will have 10,000 views and the sign of Gemini will have 100, as if, there aren't equally as many Geminis as there are Leos potentially watching, or people with, everybody has a sun, moon, and rising sign. Like, why aren't people seeing these other videos? They're not knowing that I posted them. So it is really, really frustrating. But I still appreciate you trying and, again, hitting both of those buttons. This is going to be a pick a card reading of Isis Oracle cards. It's not like a love reading, or I'm not going to do any spreads or anything. This is only a pick a card reading. And it's after a conversation that I had with the goddess Isis. Some of you know that I do have that gift where I can connect to higher beings, and I used to do it quite often. I think it is one of those things that I sort of blocked myself, at least in part. But I did receive her here today, and she was actually talking to me about my frustrations with those things. Like, I know you're frustrated, but I need you to do this other, put out this other kind of message. There are still people that are confused about ascension and awakening, and not everybody is, obsessed with just like love readings or what their sign is doing or saying, contrary to how it may appear to you sometimes. And I said, like, okay, mother, you know what I mean? We got really, really close. Probably in like 2015. I've been psychic all my life. I've seen beings. My daughter calls some of them shadowy figures. She's seen those and ghosts. She even had a different gift from me when she was a baby, and otherwise really shouldn't have been able to talk. She'd be like, oh, this is this kind of ghost. This is this kind of spirit. And I'm just like, what in the world? I remember she used to duck down in the car too when we passed by police. And one day I asked her like what she was doing, and she told me. And I said, why? And she said, because Amadou Diallo. Amadou Diallo is somebody who was murdered like a decade before she was born. So it's just like stuff like that. We both have the gift. My mother has it. And I had always thought that's from where I got it. And maybe in part it still is. But then, probably beginning in 2015 is when I started to learn more about this phase of the journey and twin flames and divine beings and all of these things. And so Isis and Osiris, they would appear to me quite a bit, like all day, every day. And I already had like some beings that were, like I said, were always surrounding me, like lived in my house. I thought that was normal. I really did. Anyway, or it was normal for me, so it wasn't weird. She started appearing more and more and like showing me things. And I had met another female in like this twin flame Facebook closed group from Mexico. And the two of us were both sort of different from the other people. Like we could see through a lot of the bullshit. And maybe because of our gifts, like we could, it seemed at least. I don't want to, sound like we thought we were better than the other people, but like discern what was complete fraud and what was real. And we were experiencing different things than the people in the group. So, you know, a lot of the time it was like, ugh, like I don't think that these people are really divine beings. You know, like we're definitely different. So anyway, one day I'm being bombarded with like ISIS stuff, like websites are opening on my computer by themselves about her and all of these kinds of things. And she and my friend and I are on the phone. We've never met in person. She lives in California. Again, she's from Mexico, but I met her on this journey. And we're on the phone and I'm like, I really think today she's trying to tell me I'm her. Like it's different than the other times that she's been here. And she's like, really? And she didn't disbelieve me because, you know, she had her own things happening that were interesting. Like I said, she's from Mexico, so she had her own deities and whatnot with whom she connected. And we were having this conversation. She's like, wow, that's crazy. So anyway, later on that same day, I go downstairs, you know, I do my errands or whatever. I come home, I check my mail. I live in an apartment building, so we have to like open the mailbox inside the building. And there's this package in that box, you know, like those envelope packages, the puffy envelopes. And no return address, no nothing. It's like it came from nobody. And sure enough, this is in it. Same day I had gotten all kinds of, like I said, websites about her. The one was a whole story about her that like saved itself in my phone. Sometimes it opens by itself. It like goes to this audio thing. I otherwise don't even know how to open this thing in my phone, but it's like an audio player. And every now and then it'll open by itself and start talking about ISIS and like, you know, her story, the ancient stories and stuff. Well, that book that I had gotten, I guess I was supposed to start reading about her from there, or reading about cards, or both, tarot, all that kind of stuff. But later, that friend, the girl from Mexico that lives in California, bought me the actual ISIS Oracle. So here's the other book. It's not this. Isn't that hilarious? Yeah. So, I'll always have at least one copy, I guess. So that's how I came to have not only this oracle, but the ISIS book in general, and have 2 copies. And today I'm going to use them. I haven't used them in some time. I think also maybe something subconscious. When I pull this card, proper burial for freedom, people die. You know, it's a prophetic message about passings in the world. And, you know, I'll usually tell my subscribers, like, okay, it's going to be like celebrities. It's going to be, I don't know, government people. It may be somebody's aunt or uncle or whatever. And sure enough, that's what happens. So I think that may be in part why I haven't used these cards in a while. Like I just wanted to not deal with that. But guess what fell out as soon as I pulled them out? Landed on my floor. Proper burial for freedom. It was behind Wings of Isis. So like I started to move the Wings of Isis away, and I saw like the PROP, and I just covered it back up. So maybe since I didn't look at the whole card, things will be all right. We've already lost a lot of great people recently, like civil rights leaders and stuff like that. And it's been very sad. Like the longest black member of Congress, he had resigned. You know, he was 91. He passed away yesterday. And of course, Conyers passed earlier in the week. He was only in his like late 60s. So we've lost a lot of great people recently. Anyway, enough about that. I was just hoping not to have seen that card, and I did. I got some happier cards here. So speaking of cards that fell out and landed on the floor, these, after I shuffled the entire deck, I looked to my side, and these 3 cards are sitting there. I opened them to see what they were, and I guess these are separate messages. I just stood them up here. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. And honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. We do have, actually there's a holiday time going on right now for those who practice or members of the Hindu faith or other people of the Eastern cultures. It is Diwali. So you may be celebrating that holiday. We have some other holidays coming up soon. I think it's next week. We'll be celebrating in the Muslim community the birthday of the Prophet on the 9th. He's going to be celebrated on the 9th this year. And we got a bunch of things, of course, Christmas, Hanukkah, all of that stuff coming up. So that can be what this honeymoon is about. It may be about the next full moon, which is not far off either. And that will be the, Taurus full moon. Is that the honeymoon? Now I have to look up when is the honeymoon specifically, because I was just made to focus in on that. Anyway, these are other important messages. Forgiving and learning, love yourself first, and honeymoon, which is kind of like a Six of Swords card for me. I am using this romance oracle, but again, this is really an Isis oracle. Pick a card. I just wanted to include a card from the romance angels, and I asked her if it could be relatable to the card that one selects from her oracle. So hopefully they are connected, because that's what I asked her. Overall energy here is reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Reconciliation has been popping up all weekend in my other readings too, as those of you who watch me know. Behind it also upright is calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. And also children, which can be connected actually to children, but otherwise is like an empress energy for me. So like the birth of something new, the growth, expansion. That's what children represent for me. Your love life is being affected by children and attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So this is about the law of attraction, telling us, or reminding us that the type of energy that we put out is what will be returned to us. From the Isis Oracle, I'm glad there are no other ones that are upright from here, because I won't have to talk about what they're all about. But past life, present power, the many spiritual faces of you, is about discovering gifts from our past lives. Sort of like what I was just describing to you. And them getting stronger in this time. She's sending us a message that right now they're getting stronger, they're being heightened, so that we can apply them to some sort of experience that we're about to have. And it is about growth, expansion, and spiritual awakening, ascension. And as a matter of fact, I'll read a small passage of that card from the book. Guess what page I just opened the book to? Just right to it. Yep, Proper Barrel for Freedom. Okay, past life, present power. Again, I'm just going to read like the top little passage. The many spiritual faces of you. When the soul is growing in service to humanity, in service to the great feminine, and her call that all beings be healed and free, it gathers internal resources to assist on the path. These resources include powers and gifts from other lifetimes. You are currently integrating past life abilities, and you are guided by the Oracle of Past Life Present Power to be open to shifting internally and in your experience of your own levels of power and spiritual ability. And of course, you guys are familiar with reconciliation. You know what that means. So on that note, I have a piece of like peach colored selenite here. Many of you may use like a selenite wand. Those are very popular. This is like a little tower. I don't know. I like the shapes. I'm into like geometric shapes. So some of you know I have 2 math degrees. So, and a science one. So my mind works like that. This one is like a clear piece of selenite. This is serpentine. Some of you also know that I have an obsession with like snakes. My favorite animals are, well, in addition to big cats and eagles, reptiles and amphibians, my favorite. This is, as dark as it is carnelian. Yep. All right. So everybody pick 1 peach selenite, 2 serpentine. 3, carnelian. 4, clear selenite. Okay, for those who picked the peach selenite, your romance angel card is you deserve love. You are lovable. And for me, this is a very Sagittarius card. This looks like Cupid shooting his or her arrow in this case. Could be something coming up for you during the time period of Sagittarius, which is not far off. And or something happening for you with a Sagittarius, or perhaps you yourself are a Sagittarius, or this is just Jupiter's energy, the ruler of Sagittarius, the planet and god of karma, of luck, of growth, of expansion, coming to gift you with the abundance of love. From the Isis Oracle for you is stay true and be in your power. Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. I will read your card for you. I probably still won't read the whole, section about each card, but I'll try to give you more than I did before with the first card. Stay true and be in your power. Osiris and Isis, Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. You are a sovereign divine being with spiritual authority and freedom within you. You don't need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you so choose. This is your divine birthright. Guard it as the precious treasure that it is, and remember that you are a divine being. The flail and crook, often held by Osiris, are symbols of divine royalty and dominion. For me, it's like thy rod and thy staff. They comfort me. That's the flail and crook. These symbols remind us that within we hold great dominion, spiritual authority, and freedom to be the sovereign ruler of our own self. This does not mean that we have to control life or others or even the environment around us, but it does give us complete and utter choice to become as spiritually awake, free, and self-determined as we wish to be, as well as providing us with complete choice as to what our values and actions will be this lifetime. There is no permission required from anyone apart from yourself to be and live your truth. There are many voices that will test you on the journey from illusionary shackles of fear, loss, or abandonment that may hold you back or tempt you into giving your power away to others. You shall awaken from the testing into the realization of spiritual independence within. Those of you who chose the serpentine, your romance angel card, of course, in addition to these three that we are all sharing, or these four, is retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. This may be about you and another party who need to spend some time alone, maybe healing a relationship or getting to know each other, or perhaps even on like a honeymoon or something like this. You elope. And or you and another party needing to spend time specifically in nature with Mother Nature, getting grounded. Maybe putting your feet in the earth, the sand, whatever is where you are, whatever the weather is conducive to you doing. This may involve you as an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, or you in a relationship with an earth sign. Your Isis Oracle card is Portal of Light. She glides on wings through time and space. Portal of Light. She glides on wings through time and space. It is only this physical reality that is bound by time and space. You are a being conscious on levels beyond the physical world. You are guided to work with your healing powers beyond the confines of time and space and to allow your sense of self to expand. It is safe for you to do this now. You will not become ungrounded through such spiritual growth. You are not leaving your earthly awareness. You are instead adding to it. You are growing in power and awareness. You've had breakthrough insights where you realize that you're not who you thought you were. You are, in fact, a much vaster being. Sometimes this was shocking and uncomfortable and difficult to accept. At other times, it was gentle and made much sense to you. You are learning to integrate this awareness of your vast self into your life. The practical consequences of doing so are extraordinary. To live with less and less fear and insecurity, to become more detached and more passionate, more loving and less demanding, to need less and receive more, to feel more joy and exert less force to attain it. Such wonderful gifts await you. You also become capable of exerting healing influence beyond time and space, which means being able to help free yourself and others if you choose to share your healing gifts. You can learn to create freedom from trauma, attachment, history, and other situations that may drain life force and distract from divine love, no matter whether occurring in this or any other lifetime. For those of you who chose the carnelian, your romance card is playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. This is for those of you who've been kind of uptight and maybe you're carrying a heavy bag to meetings and conversations and those first impressions. It's like you're just coming on too strong, too heavy. And people tend to back away from that. We gravitate toward lighthearted, what seems to be positive and healthy energy. And that can also often be represented by like the energy of a mutable sign. It's always like childlike, no matter how old we are. Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius, whatever element you are, try to take on some of those traits, or at least the lighthearted part. Your Isis Oracle card, if you chose the carnelian, is Cartouche, Divine Names of Power. Cartouche, Divine Names of Power. Lady Isis initiates you now into her special mysteries, the use of sacred incarnations. The words that you speak are rapidly gaining power. To benefit from this power, rather than be undermined or held back by it, practice thoughtful speech and clear your heart of old unforgiveness, which can poison your words unintentionally. As your heart grows in purity, you will be able to speak with spiritual authority, and what you speak of will come into being more swiftly and obviously. Isis is initiating you as a master healer in her sacred tradition of divine names of power. You are being initiated into the divine healing tradition of Isis herself. Isis works through divine names of power. These are sacred words of strength, magic, and power to create healing from a place of compassion and devotion to love. She honors that which is worthy of protection and uses endless determination combined with her skill of speaking words of power to cause life to thrive, and that which is not worthy of cultivation, which would not serve life, to dissipate and decline. Divine names of power are the mantras, sounds, and names of the divine in all traditions. Isis will bring you her name to begin offered to you as a sacred gift to be worked with as a mantra of protection, of feminine grace and divinity and healing. You can use her name as she instructs you to do so in the ritual below. I'm not going to read the ritual though. A word, phrase, or mantra that is given through initiation is like a light bulb that has been plugged into a lamp. The initiation switches the power on, and the use of the word by the initiate is like the lamp shining its light. Lastly, if you picked number 4, the clear selenite, your romance angel card is chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. Maybe physically attracted to somebody that you have not yet had any type of conversations with. Maybe you're single, you're just, crushing on somebody, as they say, or somebody from whom you are separated, whether they were just a friend or a romantic partner in the past. You could still be, very much drawn to in a physical and or otherwise chemical sense. And that may be what draws them back to you for reconciliation, because that's how the law of attraction works. Your Isis Oracle card is the Dark Mysteries. Enter the chamber of the Dark Goddess. The Dark Mysteries. Enter the chamber of the Dark Goddess. The Dark Goddess calls you to her inner chamber, where she holds a test and a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all of its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. When the Dark Goddess calls you, it is a life-changing experience. It is not always easy, but the rewards for those brave enough to answer it answer her call and enter her inner chamber are tremendous indeed. The rewards are a life lived more fearlessly, the gift of loving and being just who you are in truth, without having to impress or bow to another out of fear or rejection. It is a more open and expansive way to live, and it attracts the bounty of the Dark Mother, her gifts of love, opportunity, peace, and prosperity, well-being, and wisdom. It takes a strong soul to go through this test and into the liberation it delivers. But you're ready, dear initiate of the light. The Dark Goddess calls you to initiation when you have been working on your own shadow, bringing your whole self to light. During such times, we often need help, as shadow work can be uncomfortable, painful, or just quite difficult to undertake, as we're working with unconscious material, trying to bring it into the light of our conscious awareness. Working with the shadow, the parts of us that we have deemed unlovable, or the parts that seem too marvelous to actually be us, requires courage. The Dark Goddess will call you when your own shadow needs healing and integration, when something within is holding you back, when instead, if acknowledged and brought into the light of awareness, it could actually help you to move forward. That's as far as I'm going to read for all of the cards. I hope that you guys resonated with that which you chose and found it helpful in this moment. Continue to find it helpful. May it guide you toward your next steps, if it has not already. Thank you for joining, sharing, liking, and subscribing. If you'd like to know more about what's on the page that I read for you, you can reach out to me, and if I'm able to, I will forward it to those who requested the additional information. Thanks again for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll be back with another video soon enough. If you have any questions of me, or you like any of my services, readings, energy healing, any of the merchandise I have available on my social or Society 6 page or my Teespring page, do check out the description box below. It should be there. Thanks, guys. Namaste.